Your one last kick. This is gonna be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. A very good evening, welcome to Champions League Live this Tuesday night as we kick off match day 3 in the UEFA Champions League. And we're at the Emirates tonight as Arsenal, who are raring to go and firing already in this season's competition, take on Atletico Madrid side who've had a topsy-turvy start to the campaign. We'll see how they fare in North London after the last time they were on English turf on match day 1 turned out to be a late drama show at Anfield. Also this evening, 7 games kicking off at 8 o'clock for you. Those are all, says 0-0 there, but they haven't kicked off yet. The first 2 on that list, Barcelona 6-1 winners at home to get against Olympiacos. Olympiacos down to 10 in that one, but a great result for the Catalonians there this evening. Fermin Lopez with a hat-trick, a brace for Marcus Rashford, and Lamine Yamal scoring a penalty as well amongst the scorers there. And it was 0-0 between Khairat Almaty and Paphos, both sides getting their first meaningful points of the campaign. Actually, Khairat's first ever point in the Champions League, and Paphos their second draw of 3 games, with just 1 goal scored on that run. Also tonight, Arsenal take on Atletico as our feature game. PSG, the champions, head to Bayer Leverkusen. Copenhagen face Borussia Dortmund. Benfica head to Newcastle. PSV Eindhoven face Napoli. Union Saint-Gilloise take on Inter Milan. And Manchester City have a trip to Villarreal. That is the way your Champions League looks tonight. Let's tell you the teams then for this one. We don't have a graphic. Apologies for that, but let's tell you then the teams. David Raya starts in goal for Arsenal. A back 4 of Urian Timber, William Saliba, Gabriel and Miles Lewis-Skelly. In midfield, Martin Zubimendi is alongside Declan Rice. Barry Eza, we think, could drop into that 10 role, so he's in midfield technically. Bukayo Saka is the captain tonight for Arsenal. He's off the right. Martinelli off the left, and Gyökeres through the middle, still waiting his first Champions League goal for the Gunners. Kepa, Setford, Mosquera, White, Nkapie, Calafiori, Norgard, Waneri and Marino all on the bench. No Martin Odegaard for the Gunners tonight. For Atletico, Jan Oblak starts in goal, a back 4 of Llorente, Jimenez, Lenormand, Hansko. Then in midfield, Barrios and Koke, the captain in midfield, with Gonzalez wide and Simeone the other side, with a front 2 of Alexander Sorloth and Julian Alvarez, who wasn't fit enough for the trip to Anfield a number of weeks ago, but is fit tonight to start against the Gunners. On the bench for Atletico, Musso, Longley, Molina, Pubil, Galan, Ruggieri, Gallagher, Baina, Almada, Griezmann, Martin and Raspadori on the bench. An Arsenal side of 2 wins out of 2 in this campaign so far. Atleti lost on match day 1, won on match day 2. Well, where will they fate go tonight? Kick-off at the Emirates Stadium in North London is on the way next. Right, thank you very much indeed for joining us this evening for this one. It is 2 sides with a lot of quality, no doubt about that. And we're looking forward to seeing how they fare against each other this evening, alongside 12 other teams that are in action at 8 o'clock as well. 6 other games, including this one we're watching here in North London. So a very intriguing night of Champions League action for you. And we cannot wait to bring you all the action as and when it happens. And we'll bring you up to date with all the scores from around the grounds as and when they happen as well this evening. As Arsenal get us underway then here at the Emirates. Arsenal in red and white, their home strip, and Atletico in their away strip this evening of that kind of navy blue with the yellow trimmings, kind of that beigey yellow trimmings there. For them this evening, of course both sides do play in red and white as their traditional home colours. And interestingly, you know, an Arsenal side who not only doing well in the Champions League, but doing really well in the league at the moment. Top of the table, 3 points clear of Manchester City. In second at the moment are the Gunners after that 1-0 win away at Fulham at the weekend. They're riding high at the moment, Arsenal, and one of their biggest qualities is their defensive stability. The fact that they don't concede goals, the fact that they don't give up many chances. And when they do, it has to be a perfectly carved out one for any opponent to find a way through Arsenal. And on the rare occasion that it does happen, they usually are good goals. They are yet to concede, by the way, in the Champions League. 4 goals scored, 0 conceded, so it further backs up that idea that they don't concede many goals. They're actually one of only 2 teams that have yet to concede in this season's competition. Last season's finalists Inter Milan are the other side, as a foul here on Martin Zubimendi by Koke. See this again. Yeah, just sliding in for the ball. Zubimendi wins the ball and Koke's just late, catches him in the right leg. And catches him low with the top of his boot. It's just one of those ones. And of course last season those two would have met in La Liga. And Zubimendi did still play for Real Sociedad. And already being reacquainted early on in this one. Free kick taken by Arsenal. Down the right side is Saka. No room to manoeuvre there. Past David Hansko. They try and bypass that defence down the right hand side. It's a lovely run from Timber. Timber to the byline. Couldn't get it across and it just goes behind for a goal kick. Nice idea. Good inside run from Urian Timber. We see it here again. He's completely free. No one marking him. And it's a chip ball over the top of the Atleti defence. And Urian Timber making that underlapping run on the inside of Bukayo Saka. And he creates that really good pocket of space. Finds that pocket of space. And just as he tries to get to the byline, the ball just goes across. But nice idea. On that occasion just didn't quite work out for Arsenal. As Atleti try and make something happen down the right side. Nice interception though by Lewis Skelly. Wins it back for the Gunners as Eza lays it off to Timber. Space to manoeuvre as Timber's through ball is too heavy. Saka was the target, and it was quite a few yards ahead of Bukayo Saka. I have to say, it's actually a miracle that I'm here this evening because it was quite a rush to get us all set up. Saka with a cross all the way and up over the top and out the other end, but it was one of those lofted, stood-up crosses by Saka. Nothing of too much worry for the Atleti defence, really. But again, it's Timber down that right side, and then it's played through to Saka. Saka on the edge of the box on the right-hand side, and he just lofted that one across, just evading everybody in there with a height behind it. But I think it was about 20, 25 minutes ago that we were getting prepared. None of the graphics had been done, and I think just the last second thing. But we're here. We're done and we're on and ready to go and enjoying this one with you tonight. Of course, a double header of Champions League action tonight and tomorrow night. We're in Frankfurt as Liverpool try and get some sort of win. Here's Eza with an opportunity. Oh, it's deflected. Hit the crossbar and then the follow-up is over the bar. Goodness me, that was a chance. Again, it was a shot from Abere Eza, but it took a wicked deflection of an Atleti defender. It looped up over the goalkeeper. See this again. Good play by Arsenal between the lines. Good layoff by Gyökeres. Finding Eza. Skips past his man. And as he has the shot on the edge of the box, it's come off Hansko, I think. I'm trying to actually see now who it does come off. It is David Hansko. It comes off him. It loops up over Jan Oblak onto his crossbar. Bounces down. And then Declan Rice takes it on the half volley and hits it up off the ground and over the crossbar. Two very good chances for Arsenal back to back. Already starting to try and create some good moments. And already Atleti looking a little bit vulnerable in those moments. But riding through that just for now. Red and Green says, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everyone is well. Thank you very much for joining us. Real English joining us as well says, good evening, sir. Thank you very much for joining us again. Great to have you with us. And remember, everybody, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. As you can see, in the top right corner of your screen, we are very, very, very close to 30,000 subscribers. We're literally less than 20 subscribers away from it now. If you could help us get to that milestone tonight, that would be fantastic. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. 5.5 minutes gone here at the Emirates. Still goalless between Arsenal and Atleti, but certainly Arsenal have had the better of it so far, and they've broke down the left here. But Martinelli's run's going to be cut short as the referee blew the whistle and said, I think, that it had crossed the sidelines on that far side, so it will be a throw-in, I believe. Our referee this evening is Davide Massa from Italy. Oh, a loose back pass there. Goodness me, Atleti almost causing their own problems, and actually it turns out well for them. Sorloth gets onto it, but closed down low. The referee's going to pull it back for a free kick. I think he is. He's going to have a chat with Miles Lewis-Skelly about that challenge. And a free kick has been given to Atleti. Sorry about my nose, it's a bit itchy again. See this again. I mean, there's not much in that, if I'm honest. Simeone just kind of runs into Miles Lewis-Skelly. It's nothing too malicious from the Arsenal left back, but free kick was given right on the halfway line. Trying to play between the lines now, Atleti, but a lot of Arsenal players back. That's a nice ball into the middle here, and a turn by Alvarez, who was deeper, tried to play it through to Alexander Sorloth, but just overhit it a little bit. And David Raya was allowed to recover. I think we kind of see that front two partnership between Sorloth and Alvarez this evening. See how which one will drop, which one will kind of run in behind, and will they kind of interchange between that throughout tonight? We will see that progress. Be an interesting dynamic. On that occasion it was Alvarez that dropped and Sorloth that made the run in behind. It was just the ball that was through, just wasn't quite clicking there. We have our first goal of the night in the other games. Of course, 6 other matches underway, and it's the first one between Leverkusen and PSG that we have our first goal of the evening, and it has come for the European champions, Paris Saint-Germain, who are now going to go top of the table as it stands, of course, with everybody else drawing, and the PSG would have won 3 in a row. If they win tonight, it will be 3 wins out of 3 to start the campaign. Willian Pacho with the goal. The centre-back has given them the lead. It is 1-0 PSG. Here comes Saka down the right-hand side. Ball whipped in. Headed away by Koke. The follow-up tried to find an Arsenal player. And Gabriel, who made the late run, but cleared away by Atleti. Saliba under pressure. Plays it into a tight area, but recovered by Alvarez. Nice Simeone on this left-hand side. Trying to dribble his way inside, but well covered by Urian Timber. And lots of Arsenal cover there with Zubimendi as well dropping in. Timber tried the long through ball towards Martinelli, intercepted by Robin Lenormand. Barrios, Koke into the left hand side for Anshko. Koke now back to Pablo Barrios. Right wide to David Anshko. Trying to get some sort of possession at the moment. Atleti. Arsenal have had 60% of the ball. All 3 shots in the game have gone the way of the Gunners. They've had the control of this game in the first 9.5, 10 minutes. Switch ball there out to David Anshko. Trying to lift it in behind for the run of Sorloth, but William Saliba very well covered on that one. Yeah, and that's one of the things about Arsenal, how strong their defence is. They're probably one of the best defensive teams in Europe at this minute in time. And that's what makes them a real contender this season, that they've got such a strong defence, but also such quality further up the field. And if they unlock both and get that balance just right, they really could be a major threat in the Champions League this year. Of course, last year got all the way to the semi-finals and knocked out by the eventual winners, PSG. Haven't been to the final since 2006. It will be 20 years at the end of this season since they were last in a Champions League final, Arsenal, beaten by Barcelona. Timber down the right-hand side. Again, tried that ball in behind for Eza that time that we had the run, but well cleaned out by Jimenez. On ball by Gabriel. Brought down by Martinelli, who felt he was brought down himself by Marcus Llorente, but no foul, says the referee there. He does slightly push Martinelli, but not enough for the foul, said the referee. Koke. Back to Jimenez. Right to Hansko. Takes it down on that left-hand side. Looks to work it back inside, but has to go back to Jose Maria Jimenez. And now Jan Oblak. Across to Robin Lenormand, who, despite the pressure from Victor Gyökeres, was not phased one bit. Oblak will go long. Headed by Sorlot, but not held up, although that's a late run in from Barrios. Picks it up in the midfield. Alvarez very deep, alongside Pablo Barrios. Now Alvarez again. Picking up the pockets of space. Sorlot, nice little touch. Out to the right-hand side it comes now. For Atleti. Llorente looking for the cross, and it's hung up in there and caught by David Raya, who saw it all the way. No real concern for the Arsenal goalkeeper. But a nice little move from Atleti, though. A little better, working in between the lines, trying to find a way through this Arsenal defence. Certainly did well in the midfield battle there, Atleti. One of the biggest praises of Simeone's Atleti is the fact of their physicality and their ability to dispossession, the midfield. Strength and quality in that midfield is really quite impressive. And then the way that they play, they have those wide midfielders, and of course Simeone and Gonzalez that kind of just bomb down the wings as wide midfielders. They can drop in, but also kind of do those overlapping runs in the wide areas and kind of join the front too. So it makes it so dynamic. So intriguing watching Atleti at times when they do unleash. Here's a nice little move by Timber and Saka. Shot was blocked. Eza trying to work an angle. Now out wide here to the left side. Lewis Skelly. Squared right across the box and out the other end. But again, that's really masterful from Arsenal, working from one side to another. It's barely 5 seconds since Saka's had his shot blocked before it's a shot coming from the direct other side of the box. And Miles Lewis Skelly, they work it really, really well between the lines, Arsenal. Really, really well. And Lewis Skelly's effort just skimming outside of the right post and wide. But again, really good creativity for the Gunners. More positive signs for Arteta, although that's a bouncing ball that's gone the way of Gonzalez, who's bursting down the right side, and he's put a ball in. And nobody there in Atleti colours to take a hold of it. 2 in the box, but both had overrun the ball. And that was a great moment. Nice win there from Jimenez. Positive signs as well for Atleti on that moment. As Koke under a bit of pressure here by Eza. Works it for Jimenez, and now Koke again. Try to lay it off to Hanchko, but nicely intercepted by Saka. Bukayo Saka. Trying to work it to Martinelli, who was brought down, but the flag was up anyway for Martinelli, who was offside. I've got to say, Arsenal have had by far the better of the attack in action, but one or two glimpses from the visitors. Here's Alvarez. Barrios. Out to the right-hand side it comes. Alvarez tracking all the way out to that right flank and linking up with a 1-2 with Barrios. Arsenal allowing them to play in and around the edge of the box there. Here is Pablo Barrios again. Llorente. Gonzalez. Trying to force it through to Barrios, but again, Arsenal just patiently waiting for Atleti to play a loose pass or not really make things click, and they will try and take advantage. Here's a Berrieza. Running into trouble, but he's going to get the foul for it, I believe. And a free kick to Arsenal. No goals elsewhere as of yet, other than that one for PSG. No further goals is what I should say for the moment, and we'll update you if anything changes in those games. Remember, Man City and Newcastle are both playing tonight. Chelsea and Liverpool both play tomorrow night, along with Spurs in the Champions League. Nice little 1-2 there down the right side for Arsenal. Timber Eza tried to get the clip on the ball. But again, Atleti just about scraping it away, and that really good football to get it out of the pressure. But Sorlot's a little bit isolated here down the left-hand side. Does well against Saka. Finding Barrios under pressure down that side, but he's just clipped at the last second, Pablo Barrios. And the referee, Davide Massa, is going to give it the way of the visitors. Yeah, Timber just a little too physical there on the Atleti midfielder. Well, these two teams have only previously met in UEFA competitions in the 2017-18 Europa League semi-finals. A 1-1 draw in London, which Antoine Griezmann scored a late equaliser, and a 1-0 home win for Atleti on their way to lifting the trophy that season. That's their only previous meetings in UEFA competitions. Saliba. Berrieza. In behind Saka as he timed the run perfectly. Really good from Yano Black, who was committed and had to make the challenge and did really, really well, the goalkeeper. Saka had stayed down. Is there a little bit of concern over Saka? Although Yano Black's hurt himself as well here, so the referee will stop the game. Saka is okay, he's up on his feet again, but Yano Black seems to have hurt himself. We'll see this again. Beautiful idea, and a well-timed run, really well-timed run by Saka. Beautiful ball by Berrieza, and it's really smart from Yano Black. Comes flying out. Make sure that if he is going to get it past him, Saka, it's going to be difficult, and he does really well. Spreads himself high and wide and forces Saka to try and dink it over him, and in the end the shot comes off the shoulder of Oblak and they kind of collide a little bit, but he's okay to continue. The Atleti goalkeeper. Two managers who love strong, stubborn defences, and so far now the defence has been breached in the first 20 minutes. A couple of goals to tell you about, actually, just in the last few minutes. We have an update from the game in Villarreal in Spain this evening between Villarreal and Manchester City. Erling Haaland has given City the lead after just 17 minutes. Rico Lewis setting that one up, and Erling Haaland on the end of it, so it's 1-0 to Manchester City. And another goal has come in Copenhagen tonight between Copenhagen and Borussia Dortmund. Felix Metscher, I think that is. Yeah, Felix Metscher has given Borussia Dortmund the lead there. So, three visiting teams all leading by a goal to nil so far in our games tonight. Dortmund 1 up, PSG 1 up, and Man City all 1 up at the moment. If it stays as it is, PSG will be top, Dortmund would move up to third, and Manchester City would move up to fifth in the table. With those results as it stands, and the rest all staying the same. A long, long way to go. If Atletico Madrid's last trip to England in the Champions League was anything to go by, I don't think there's anybody writing off anything could happen tonight. 2-0 down, back to 2-2, and then Liverpool win it late. I mean, it was one of those dramatic, crazy late winners from Liverpool early in the campaign, but where is that Liverpool side gone? That's the question. Where has that Liverpool team gone? We'll watch them tomorrow night. Their trip to Frankfurt. A real tough game for Arne Slot's team tomorrow evening before they head to Brentford in the Premier League on Saturday night. Another difficult game. Brentford now side in good form at the moment. Here's Atleti switching the ball out to Hansko. Very high and wide. Works it back inside to Gonzalez, who gets it across. And it's hooked and cleared away in there by, I think that was Zubamendi. That was much better again from Atleti. Starting to maybe settle themselves into this game a little bit are the visitors. Remember, they were 2-0 down in such early stages of the game at Anfield a few weeks ago, if you remember. Andy Robertson and Mo Salah scoring 2 goals inside 6 minutes to give Liverpool a 2-goal lead. Llorente got a goal right before half-time to get them back in it, and scored a second goal to equalise in the 81st minute before Virgil van Dijk's 92nd minute winner for the Reds. In a game which also Diego Simeone was sent off. That's a lovely ball down the left side for Sorloth. Down to try and cross it. But it was blocked and cleared away by Gabriel this time for Arsenal. Will be a throw in down this left hand side for Atleti. David Hansko to take. Still yet to register their first shot of the game, Atleti. Nice throw into the box, brought down by Sorloth. Fires it across. And Gonzalez was in the middle. His shot cleared away. But again, Atleti starting to have a little bit of control in this game. The crowds just died down a little bit, trying to get back up for their team, but it is the travelling Atleti fans that you can hear in that far corner that are making the most noise at the moment inside the Emirates. As their side are starting to try and assert themselves into this game. A bit of a loose touch in the midfield there. And the ball comes all the way back to David Raya, who tries to see it out for a goal kick, but comes flying out of his box. And my goodness me, you barely see him make a mistake. An empty net! Oh, it's just gone wide. My goodness me. For a defence that is so solid. My goodness, that was a gaping hole. I mean, what on earth is David Raya doing here? He's trying to play tricks and flicks and see it out for a goal kick. And in the end, it doesn't go out of play. And fantastic from Atleti to keep on him. They win the throw-in, and David Raya just trundling back to his own goal, an empty net, And Julian Alvarez tries to take advantage and just can't direct it into the net. But my goodness, Arsenal are very lucky that didn't come back to bite them, because that was some sort of risk taking. It just didn't need to be taken by David Raya. My goodness me, that was a risk beyond belief. I mean, I'm baffled. I can understand David Raya is probably trying to see it out for a goal kick. The ball was not moving. It was stood still right about a yard off the byline. All he needed to do, just clear it out for a throw. Just get rid of the ball, stop trying to flick it. And then he realises it's not going out for a goal kick, and he tries to flick it round the player, closing him down. Just get rid of the ball. It's one of those moments as a lapse. And then, when he loses the ball, he then chases the player out to kind of dispossess him, I'm guessing. The goalkeeper took far too many risks there, and Arsenal really nearly paid the price for it. And Atleti, very unlucky to not be leading. Still goalless. And I said it, the last few minutes, Atleti has started to assert themselves a little bit. Arsenal have got a little sloppy on the ball, and Atleti have tried to just slowly edge their way into this game. And here they break down the right. Llorente, early cross, too deep for Alexander Sorloth in the middle. Goal kick will come, but starting to show themselves a little more, the Spanish side. A little more of what they're capable of. You're 100% right as well there, Real English. Atleti 5-2 winners against Real Madrid already this season. The Madrid derby always gives us something exciting. The absolute thumping of Real did Atleti have at the end of September. Saka feeds it in behind. Gyökeres on the end of it. He's dragged very far wide to the right and has to work it back inside to Urian Timber, but no room to manoeuvre in front of goal there for the Arsenal striker. Barely said his name to this point, Gyökeres. It's been a lot of the wide players that have had the majority of the action. It's Martinelli's cross. Cleared away again by Atleti, and Sorloth trying to hold it up. Felt he was fouled. Referee says no as Alvarez nips it away here from William Saliba. And he's running in. He's got a few Arsenal players ahead of him. Julian Alvarez still going. Still got the ball in the box. As he cuts it back here to Barrios. Can he get a shot off? He's not going to be able to for the moment. Still alive here with Atleti. Gonzalez. Simeone chipping it across Gonzalez's header towards Sorloth. And bouncing back to David Raya. But another moment of positivity for Atleti. Again, it's sloppy from the Arsenal defenders. It's William Saliba that just allows Julian Alvarez to win it back, and really good physicality from the Atleti centre forward. Does really, really well. Keeps the ball and then has the presence of mind in the box just to lay it off to the edge to try and get a shot for his teammate Pablo Barrios. And really, Arsenal do well at recovering from that position. But again, a moment of frailty which Atleti are trying to exploit. Once again, Arsenal end up with the ball back and no damage done. Saliba, great switch ball out to Martinelli. Cuts it back inside now to Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly's cross. There, went down in the middle there, but no foul, said the referee, as Atleti clear it away, and Arsenal scrambling it forward. Zubimendi won the ball. Wanted a high boot there to the Atleti midfielders. Weren't going to be given it by the referee. Saka down the right hand side. Cuts back onto Timber, who chips it round the back post, and the header is over the bar by Robin Lenormand for the corner. Again, we're desperately waiting for this first goal in this game. Game that's very much excited to this point. Two teams trying to get the opener. Either side able to conjure one up so far, but this might be the most fruitful of positions where Arsenal can try and conjure up an opener. The first corner of the night, right on the 30-minute mark. First corner of the evening. Saka to deliver. This is how they won the game against Fulham at the weekend. Another set piece. Can they ignite the fire from a similar position here this evening under the lights in the Champions League? Another goal to tell you about in the Champions League tonight in our other games. PSV against Napoli. We'll get there in a moment and tell you all the details as this Arsenal corner ready to be taken by Bukayo Saka. Saka, left-footed, lofted across, flicked on the near post, cleared away by Atleti on the follow-up as recycled back in there, but a little bit loose from Arsenal again. And that will run for a throw-in down that left-hand side for the Gunners. I can tell you that it's Napoli that have taken the lead in Eindhoven this evening against PSV. Napoli leading by a goal to nil in that one. Scott McTominay, he's had a great start to his career at Napoli and a great second season, shall I say there. That's now really impactful. He has been this campaign, and that's his second goal in as many appearances for club and country. He scored for Scotland in that 2-1 win over Belarus in the international break, and he's on the score sheet tonight to give Napoli the lead away at PSV Eindhoven. Still goalless here at the Emirates. Arsenal 0, Atletico Madrid 0. 32 minutes gone. Arsenal with by far the better of the chances, but Atleti in the last 5 to 10 minutes have slightly exerted themselves a little bit more in an attacking sense, although that ball won't help their cause. Straight out of play down the left-hand side. Just another Andy says, good evening. Come on, you Gunners. Thank you very much for joining us, Andy. Great to have your company tonight. Real English says, I can't wait to see Alvarez in the World Cup. He looks so at home at Atleti and has really come into his own. He really has. Really has. Fantastic is Alvarez. And there he is again, but he runs straight into Zubamendi that time. Here's Saka down the right-hand side. Gyökeres unleashed. Skips his way past Jimenez. And he wanted a foul. And he's going to get a foul. And Jimenez is going to get a yellow card. But cynical on the Arsenal centre forward, Jose Maria Jimenez. Yeah, he just kind of body checks Victor Gyökeres. No intention to win the ball once it's past him. And he's just kind of body checked Victor Gyökeres out of the way. It's a yellow card. First yellow card of the evening. Speaking of cards, there's been a red card in Leverkusen, the champions of Europe, leading by a goal to nil through William Pacho, and it has gone from bad to worse for Bayer Leverkusen. They've missed a penalty. Grimaldo hit the woodwork from a penalty, and just 5 minutes after he missed a penalty, they're down to 10 men. Bayer Leverkusen. Robert Andrich has been shown a straight red card for violent conduct, and they are down to 10. So not only are they 1-0 down, Leverkusen, they're now a man down. Goals elsewhere to tell you about, including at St James's Park. We'll get there in a moment to tell you what's happened at St James's Park. But Saka is over a free kick here for Arsenal on the right-hand side of the box. And an opportunity for Arsenal to threaten the Atleti goal once more. No shortage of that this evening. Goals flying in across Europe all of a sudden. Let's see then. Bukayo Saka over this free kick. The referee's going to have a chat with a few players actually before they take this. Not happy with the physicality going on in the box. Jose Maria Jimenez right in the mix of it again, with Lewis Skelly that time. 6 Arsenal players in the mix there. Saka goes short to the edge. Shot a ball flicked into the box, and that was easily defended by Atleti. And now they unleashing. Oh, trying to find a way through there for Simeone, but David Raya had to fly about 20 yards, charging out of his goal to try and challenge, and cleared that one away. But that was far from clean from Arsenal from that set piece. They ended up almost conceding a goal from it. They put themselves under unnecessary pressure. So Atleti get the throw in, and they're back in play then. Good challenge. Well won there from Zubamendi in the midfield. And now he's found Bukayo Saka. Saka into the box trying to work an angle. And he fires it across and followed in by Martinelli, but he's offside. Saka's shot towards the far post, tapped in by Gabriel Martinelli, but he's offside. The flag's up. Well, of course, check at VAR, but really well won by Zubamendi. Really clean challenge. They wanted a foul there at Atleti. They weren't given it, and I think it's fair enough. It wasn't a foul. Really well done by Zubamendi. And as Saka takes the shot onto his right foot, it's angling towards that far corner. It's going wide, and Martinelli taps it in, but he's miles offside when the opportunity is taken by Bukayo Saka. And this one will not be overturned. It will be no goal. But yeah, one of those ones. Yeah, and it has been confirmed and checked and cleared by VAR as no goal. And the player that was down is back to his feet again for Atleti. Right, let's get you around the grounds, because there's been so many goals in the last few minutes. We can tell you that there's been a goal in Copenhagen. Dortmund took the lead in that one, but there has now been a second goal, and it is an equaliser for the hosts. Copenhagen are back on terms in that one. An own goal from Valdemar Anton has pegged Dortmund back. A goal at St James's Park coming for the home side. Newcastle have taken the lead. Anthony Gordon set up by Jacob Murphy, and Anthony Gordon the scorer there. A Newcastle lead by a goal to nil. Big goal for them. PSV have equalised against Napoli in that one in Eindhoven. It is now 1-1 there. Another own goal. Alessandro Buongiorno has equalised with his own goal, and that is the way we stand at the moment. There's also been another red card in the game in Leverkusen between Bayer Leverkusen and the European champions PSG. Leverkusen went down to 10 in the 33rd minute through Robert Andrich for violent conduct. Ilya Zabarny, just 4 minutes later, has been sent off for PSG. Professional last man foul, and they were given a penalty for the second time tonight, Leverkusen, and they have now equalised from said penalty. Alex Garcia takes this one, and he has scored. So Leverkusen are level, as well as both sides now down to 10 in Leverkusen. What an unbelievably crazy game. So 1-1 there, and both down to 10. Right, that's you right up to date for now. Free kick to Atleti here, down the left-hand side. Taken short. Alvarez's ball into the middle. Flicked on. Cleared away. Simeone tries to keep it alive through Saka. Nice little 1-2 there between him and Hansko. But again, just about getting it away, Arsenal. And Saka doing the clearing this time. Martinelli in his own half under pressure. And he got a touch from Gonzalez and wins a throw-in. So we see the offside here for the goal that Arsenal thought they'd scored, and he's a good yard or so offside. There is Gabriel Martinelli. Yeah, that's as clear as day. Good spot by the officials, but he's definitely offside. And they didn't need VAR for that one. Quite clearly an offside call. This first half flew by. 39.5 minutes gone. Arsenal 0, Atletico Madrid 0. Arsenal coming the closest so far, but neither side able to breach their opponent's defence. Here's Berrieza down the left-hand side. Martinelli plays it forward. Rice making a run, but Barrios trying to cover him. Rice wins it back. and then bundles it over the byline under pressure from Marcus Llorente. Goal kick to Atletico Madrid. Goals incoming then, or goals flying in all of a sudden. Right now, just as our latest goal update, there's been a goal in Union Saint-Gilloise. Where do they play? Gilloise, I think. There's been a goal there. So this game we're watching tonight is the only game now in the Champions League that is goalless. We'll go to Union Saint-Gilloise against Inter. Inter haven't conceded yet this season in the Champions League. Well, that's not changed because they've scored. Inter are in front. They've just scored, so we'll tell you the score in a moment, but it is Inter who lead by a goal to nil against Union Saint-Gilloise. Denzel Dumfries has got that goal. Right, I've not had a minute to explain to you what's going on here. As Nico Gonzalez just headbutt the back of Iberieza's shoulder and has hurt himself there. But he's okay, but the referee was just double checking that he was okay. And Atleti make a meal of that moment. Right, another goal to tell you about in Eindhoven. PSV have now taken the lead against Napoli. So they were 1-0 down, PSV, but they now lead by 2-1. The second goal scored by Ismail Saibari, set up by Gus Till. And 2 goals in around 3 minutes has brought Napoli's lead right down to a deficit now. So they're 2-1 down. Speaking of 2 goals scored for one team, it is Manchester City. They've doubled their lead now away in Villarreal. And this evening, Bernardo Silva adding to Erling Haaland's goal. And now City are 2 to the good. Throw into Arsenal. Left-hand side here. Miles Lewis Skelly to take. Long throw into the box. Headed away by Atleti. And Declan Rice, as he won the ball, took the man down in Julian Alvarez. Free kick to the visitors. Every time I look over at this screen, there's been another goal. There is another goal, and it's in that mad game between Leverkusen and PSG. So PSG took the lead. Then Leverkusen missed a penalty, got a man sent off. Then PSG got a man sent off, and from the resulting penalty, Leverkusen equalised. Now PSG are back in front. So it is 2-1 to the European champions, Desiree Doué, with the second goal set up by Kavika Kvaratskhelia. And it is 2-1 to Paris Saint-Germain in Leverkusen. What an unbelievably dramatic first half. 3 goals, 2 red cards and a missed penalty. Proper Champions League, that is. Throw in down the right hand side here for Atleti now. Long throw into the box. Flicked on actually by Arsenal and cleared away by Bukayo Saka. Nicely retrieved by Jimenez. And Alvarez was going to play on, but the referee's just going to pull it back for a foul on Robin Lenormand by Declan Rice. And that will be a free kick. And you just got a good glimpse of that, the referee, and actually didn't really make contact there, Declan Rice, if I'm honest, with Robin Lenormand. But it is a free kick to Atletico. It's a good distance out, but if you remember last season, this area of the pitch was the scene of 2 unbelievable free kicks from Declan Rice. It's a little further out this time. It's about 32, 33 yards out. Slightly to the right of goal. This will be more of a delivered one. They'll not take it direct, surely. Oh, Alvarez will take it direct! Goodness me, and it just skims wide, but it had David Raya scrambling to that side. We'll see it again. Alvarez just doesn't get the whip on it. Gets the nice direction. It's a decent opportunity, but just doesn't get the whip back on the ball, and it just curls wide. There's another goal in Leverkusen. I mean, get them to half-time. I think they need a break, those lot. The 22, well now the 20 players on that pitch, never mind 22, both have had a player sent off, and it's getting from bad to worse for Leverkusen again. They're now 3-1 down. They got themselves all the way back level, and level men-wise, and now 10v10, they're struggling more than 11v10 really. 3-1 now to PSG in that one. Vika Kvaratskhelia set up the second and scored the third. As Saka was deemed to have been fouled there by David Hansko. So a free kick to Arsenal. Was it a free kick given? By the way, we have a minute additional. It's just a throw-in was given actually by the officials. Declan Rice will take this throw. This will be the last real action of the half. Rice to deliver. Long throw into the box. Cleared away by Atleti. It was Skelly trying to get it back in, and now Atleti can try and spring a counter. Barrios not going to force that one for now. Just recycle it back, and that should end the half. As it comes all the way back to Jan Oblak here. And he tries to clear his lines, but just pokes it out of play for an Arsenal throw. So Arsenal take it quickly. They're still allowing this to play there, the referee. Declan Rice cuts it back. Ball into the box. The header is over the bar from Gabriel Martinelli, who wanted a penalty. But you're not going to get one for that. Yeah, good cutback by Rice, and then the cross into the box by Zubimendi, finding the head of Martinelli, who was actually come off the shoulder of Martinelli. It's definitely not a penalty. And there is the end of the first half. A first half which really both sides have had opportunities. Arsenal certainly the better of them, but neither side able to take their opportunities as of yet. And so far, they're the only two sides in Europe, which is this game is the only game so far in the Champions League tonight that hasn't got a goal in it. Certainly one or two interesting moments to talk about at half-time. At the break here in North London, it's Arsenal 0, Atletico Madrid 0. We'll be back in a few minutes. Do stay with us. Sure, one last kick. This is going to be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal! Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable! Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible! Interesting little transition. Welcome back to Champions League Live. Half time, it is Arsenal 0, Atletico Madrid 0 at the break. Thank you very much for joining us this evening for this one. It is goalless between these two this evening, but there's plenty of goals elsewhere in the Champions League this evening. At least every other game has at least one goal in it, and some with quite a lot of goals so far this evening. But let's recap the early games for you. Barcelona 6-1 winners against Olympiacos earlier tonight. A great night for Barcelona, for their players, and a real lovely night for unleashing some quality in the attack and third. They cruised into a 2-goal lead, did the home side. Fermín López with both goals in the first half to give Barca a 2-goal advantage. They then got themselves back into the game, really, for a bit, did Olympiacos. They thought they'd scored through Caoimhan. That goal was ruled out by VAR, but literally a minute later, Caoimhan scored a penalty. And that got them back into the game at that point, Olympiacos at 2-1. But they then had a second yellow card for Santiago Heza, who was booked in the first half. He was booked in the second half, so two yellows make a red, and he was off. Minutes later, then Marcus Rashford won a penalty for Barca, the score by Lamine Yamal, and then it unleashed the scoring. It was 3-1, then it was 4-1 through Rashford, then 5-1 through Fermín López again on his hat-trick, and 6-1 through Marcus Rashford in the final 10 minutes of that game. They scored 4 goals in the space of 11 minutes, did Barca, to go from 2-1 up to 6-1 up. A great result for Barca on the night. But all of the goals in that one, 7 of which, to no goals between Kairat Almaty and Pafos in that one. In Kazakhstan tonight, referee Chris Kavanagh, the English referee, but no goals between those two sides this evening. But a interesting, very good point for the home side, Kairat Almaty, their very first ever point in the Champions League, and Pafos, of course, their second draw, but only 1 goal from both sides in the campaign so far, so not very high scoring, those games against them so far this season, but goalless, that one ended. Elsewhere this evening, so Arsenal 0-0 against Atletico Madrid is our feature game. At the 6 other games, every game has a goal, at least. Only 3 teams in the other 6 haven't scored. Benfica, Union Saint-Gilloise and Villarreal are the only 3 teams not to have scored tonight in our other games, but 5 goals in that game between Leverkusen and PSG, and that's only half the story, really. Let's recap the whole first half in chronological order for you. Willian Pacho gave PSG a lead after just 7 minutes. In the 25th minute, Alejandro Grimaldo, took a penalty, hit the woodwork, so missed the penalty for Leverkusen. And then Robert Andrich was given a yellow card. VAR overturned it, said no, it's a red card. He was sent off for Bayer Leverkusen. Then minutes later, a last man challenge from Ilya Zabarny got him sent off, and then from the resulting penalty of that, then they equalised it, Leverkusen, through Alexi Garcia. Then PSG were back in front within 3 minutes of that penalty. Desiree Doué to give them the lead. Then 2 minutes after that, Kavika Kvaratskhelia in the 44th minute gave PSG a 3-1 lead before a 4-1 lead into the half. Desiree Doué, again, his second of the night, to make it 4-1 to PSG. The European champions might have had their first half turned into chaos, but they ended it really well, scoring 3 crucial goals to now have a 3-goal lead at the break. So they're 4-1 up at the break. A crazy game. 5 goals, 2 red cards and a missed penalty. I mean, absolutely chaos. Let's go to Copenhagen. FC Copenhagen against Borussia Dortmund tonight. Dortmund took the lead in that one. Job Bellingham setting up Felix Metsche for the opener for Dortmund before Valdemar Anton put it into the back of his own net to give Copenhagen an equaliser. That's the way they stand there at the break, 1-1. Just the 1 goal at St James's Park, but a big goal for Newcastle United. Anthony Gordon has Newcastle leading by 1-0 at the break. Eddie Howe's team starting off really, really well in that game and are looking to get their second win in 3 Champions League matches tonight if they can pick up victory and a big result against a very good Benfica side. But so far, it is Newcastle on top and they lead at the break. 3 goals between PSV Eindhoven and Napoli, but a real turn of the tables in the first half. It was Napoli that took the lead. Spinazzola setting up Scott McTominay to give Napoli their opener. But minutes later, Buongiorno put into his own net to make it 1-1 before Saibari made it 2-1 to PSV Eindhoven. All 3 goals came within a space of 7 minutes and a number of yellow cards as well in that one, so still a lot still to be interesting in that second half. But PSV 2, Napoli 1. Inter Milan are 2 up away at Union Saint-Gilloise. Denzel Dumfries and Lautaro Martinez scoring both goals in that first half. And City also 2 up. Manchester City away at Villarreal. Erling Haaland and Bernardo Silva, the 2 scorers. Right, that's the way all of our Champions League games have looked this evening, and so far at half-time in 7 of those games. But here, at the Emirates between Arsenal and Atletico Madrid, it is goalless at the break, and a game which hangs in a very interesting balance. Arsenal have had a lot of the action, a lot of the attacking quality in the game, but Atleti have still showed their flair a little bit in moments. 1 or 2 opportunities which they haven't taken against Arsenal that they might pay the price for later in the night. But in terms of shots, in terms of the stats, Arsenal edging the possession 55-45 in Arsenal's favour. Arsenal's XG 0.65 to Atleti 0.24. 2 big chances for the Gunners, 1 big chance for Atleti, and none of those chances have been taken. 9 shots for Arsenal, but only 2 on target. Just 2 shots for Atletico Madrid, none on target. Just the 1 corner for the Gunners as well. And I think it was that for the first 20 minutes was all Arsenal. Definitely, without a doubt. But Atleti had that little 5 to 10 minute spell in between, in the middle of the half, where they were actually the better side. Arsenal had a little bit of a couple of sloppy passes, a couple of sloppy moments, and really just were off it a little bit in those 10 minutes. But Atleti had their best chances of the game, I think. If you remember the David Raya moment where he was waiting for it to go out for a goal kick and never went out. He tried to then dribble it past the pressing defender or the pressing attacker. It's really terrible. Really terrible from the goalkeeper. And then he chases the guy. Once he dispossesses him, he chases him to the sidelines and gives away a throw-in. And then doesn't track back to his own goal. Doesn't get into his goal quick enough. And let him take the throw-in quickly. Alvarez has the shot. And if that's on target, it's 1-0 Atleti. But he just couldn't get it on target from that angle, Julian Alvarez. And very lucky was David Raya that didn't come against him in the end. But I think Arsenal have had half chances, Atleti have had half chances, both. I think Arsenal have had more chances than Atleti. Of course, Arsenal had the ball in the back of the net, Gabriel Martinelli in an offside position. But I think this game hangs in the balance. When the first goal goes in, it will change the momentum of this game. If Arsenal get the first goal, I think they will cruise to victory tonight. But if Atleti get a goal, it could really make it an interesting affair. And that's where I think the game hangs in the balance at the minute. Which way that first goal goes could be the telling of the tale in the second half. And I think it would be very interesting to see when that comes about, because I do expect there to be a goal. I don't think this will end goalless. Famous last words. But yeah, I think there'll be a goal, but which way it goes will be very interesting. I think Atleti need to be more creative in the final third. I think they haven't actually done enough to test David Raya. I think the best moment for Atleti actually came from an Arsenal mistake. And I think that's something that they need to try and figure out, how to be more creative, how to create more chances. But that's something that every team that faces Arsenal is trying to figure out at the moment, because there's such a really well-drilled defence. But I think there are moments. I think William Saliba got kind of out-muscled 1 or 2 times by Alexander Sorloth, and then Julian Alvarez. So there's a bit of threat there. And then the goalkeeper looking a little bit crazy at times. I think Arsenal, if you create a mistake out of them, they can go a little bit chaotic. But I think if everything's level, they're calm, they're settled, they're okay, and they're actually really hard to break down. So Atleti need to kind of rile up Arsenal a little bit. If you remember, a few seasons ago, Atleti riled up Liverpool and then they riled up Man City, and we're getting good joy out of the English teams when they did rile them up and kind of bring out that nastier side of them and kind of brought the game level down a little bit. I don't really see Atleti doing that as much now, but I think if they are to really test Arsenal, I think they need to move the ball quicker, get into the final third a lot more, and they have to be more creative in when they get there. But also try and get a little bit of craziness out of Arsenal. Try and unsettle them a little bit. But we'll see. At half-time, it is goalless, by the way, and we're back for the second half. That's come around very quick. The second half's on the way next. Do stay with us. Welcome back to Champions League Live this evening. Thank you very much for joining us. At half-time at the Emirates, Arsenal 0, Atletico Madrid 0. Second half on the way in just a moment. Don't forget, though, we have more Champions League action for you tomorrow night. We're in Frankfurt as Liverpool look to end this terrible losing streak that they're on at the moment. 4 losses in a row for the champions of England. Not looking quite like the champions of England at the moment are Liverpool. And Arne Slot has some work to figure out, but probably the best way to come off losing games is to try and go out there and win the next one. And they have a tough test away at Eintracht Frankfurt tomorrow, 8 o'clock here on LFS. Amongst, of course, other English teams in action, Tottenham's visit to Monaco and Chelsea hosting Ajax, as well as Real Madrid, Juventus and Bayern Club Bruges, amongst some of our interesting games tomorrow night for you. Thank you very much for joining us. Second half about to get underway here at the Emirates. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and we're so close to 30,000 subscribers. If you could help us out with that, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Right, ready to go for the second half. Arsenal kicking from right to left, Atleti kicking from left to right in the second half. And off we go. And we're back underway then for this second half. As I said, the only game of our 8 o'clock games tonight in the Champions League that hasn't got a goal in it. So it is well worth it. Hopefully it's well worth waiting for it when the goal eventually does come. Which way it will come will dictate how this second half pans out. Here's a nice chance for Alvarez into the box here. Alvarez dribbling through defenders. He's still got the ball, trying to lay it off. Barrios was a little bit short-changed there, and Arsenal can clear it away. But Julian Alvarez got into the box and couldn't get a shot off himself. Here's a run down the left-hand side for Martinelli. Has to work back inside and trying to link it up with Aberieza, but dispossessed by Koke. A nice turn there by Alvarez as the ball was zipped into his path as he tried to play it through. Caught in possession. And now Eza. Recycles it back for Arsenal at Jeroen. Says, do you know if the shot from Saka on goal was in or out of the 16 metres? I'm guessing that's the 18-yard box, and I would guess it's inside. I'll double check for you. As here comes Bukayo Saka inside the box. Had a shot blocked. Recycled by Arsenal. Out to the right-hand side comes Timber. Up against Anshko. Sees off David Anshko and is breaking through here. Urian Timber into the box he goes and cleared behind back Jimenez for a corner. Really good. Really good from Urian Timber. The shot on target by Bukayo Saka was inside the 18-yard box earlier on in the 19th minute. And That was on target. He's had a couple of shots inside the box, but the only one he had on target was inside the 18-yard box. Right, corner to the right-hand side for the Gunners. Lofted into the box. Away at the near post again by Sorlot. Cycled down that right-hand side by Zubamendi. Nice little through ball towards Saka. Was well cut out again. This time by Alvarez. And now Sorlot trying to scramble away. And was held there, said the referee. Free kick to Atleti. No problem, Jerome. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, Arsenal have won their last 6 Champions League matches against Spanish opposition. The first team to do so in European Cup history. They triumphed 2-0 against Athletic Club on match day 1, of course. 2-0 victory. We'll add another Athletic to their list of teams they've beaten. Atletico holding firm and holding very strongly against the Gunners so far. Playing nice football here in the final third. Alvarez will have a go! And he's hit the crossbar. Bashing off the crossbar there. Don't know if I think it might have been Alvarez, and there's going to be a free kick. Simeone brought down on the right side. It was Julian Alvarez. See this again. Really good play down the left side by Atleti. And he's given the time and space to shoot the edge of the box. And it bashes off the crossbar. Really good whipped effort. A little less height behind it, and that was an absolute cracker of a goal. But it bangs off the crossbar. Raya full stretch was nowhere near it. That is so unlucky for Julian Alvarez. And he's got a free kick here though. Simeone fouled on the right hand side, right on the sideline. Right on the touchline, shall I say. And a free kick taken by Alvarez. Right footed, it's a little low. It's cleared away. And behind, they wanted a corner there, Atleti. Not going to get one. Last touch off Alexander Sorlot's goal kick. A big moment for Atleti. And maybe a little bit of a wake-up call to Arsenal that they need to try and find that first goal. Because Atleti do hold a threat. Very much so. Very capable of racking up the goals. Already done that so far in the Champions League this season. 5-1 winners against Eintracht Frankfurt. 3-0 up by half-time. Raspadori, Lenormand and Griezmann all the scorers in the first half. And Alvarez and Simeone adding their names to the list of 5 different scorers in that 5-1 victory over Frankfurt that night in Madrid. That was on match day 2 and scored 2 through Llorente in the game away at against Liverpool. Ball whipped into the box there, calls a handball. It did take a deflection. The referee says no handball, and his arms were in a natural position there. Was Jimenez, and he's completely correct. It's not a handball. His arm was here. You can't see it. I'll tell you now. His arm was here, so it's definitely not handball. Here is Julian Alvarez breaking down the right tier for Atleti. He's got the better of Gabriel. A bit more open this game now. Simeone back to Alvarez. Trying to find a runner. Alvarez rolls it through and the runner goes through. Koke slightly tripped up there, but he tried to keep it alive. And in the end, a goal kick will come the way of Arsenal. But Alvarez really patient. Knew the run was coming. Ooh. Knocked knees there with Koke did Miles Lewis Skelly. But it's not a penalty. But the game a little more open now. Atleti have had as many shots in the second half as they did in the whole of the first. Inside the first 7 minutes of this second half. And the best of them all, that crossbar shot. And the shot off the crossbar by Julian Alvarez. Another goal in Leverkusen to tell you about, and another goal between Union Saint-Gilloise and Inter as well, and the two away sides scoring there. PSG now have a 5th goal, Nuno Mendes with a 5th there, and a 3rd goal for Inter away at Union Saint-Gilloise tonight, and that goal scored by Hakan Çalhanoğlu. So 3-0 to Inter and 5-1 to PSG away from home as it stands. Here is Martinelli down the left for Arsenal. Chops onto his right foot, cuts back the way, works it back inside to Gabriel. Very nicely taken on a little flick over the top by Zubimendi, and the shot by Gyökeres is smothered by Jan Oblak and cleared away by Atleti, but that was really good from Arsenal. And without that save from Oblak, it was 1-0. And they're trying to work this now. Llorente beaten to it by Martinelli, but fabulous covering by Robin Le Normand to stop Martinelli in his tracks, and Atleti clearing their lines. But a bouncing ball going right back the way of Arsenal here. This will be a moment very soon. I feel a goal is starting to come. The atmosphere and the anticipation is brewing. There will be a goal at one side or the other very soon. As that's blocked down that right hand side by Llorente on Martinelli. Throw into Arsenal. You forget when you can feel the energy inside the stadium going up a little bit, and one team's maybe having a little bit more of a moment. Arsenal are having that little moment right now. It's Lewis Skelly over to take this throw. 8 Arsenal players in and around the edge of the 18-yard box. Long throw by Lewis Skelly. Cleared away at the first man there in Llorente. And bouncing out for an Atletico Madrid throw in. Really good flick by Zubimendi in behind, and Gyökeres made a beautiful run. Pokes it with his right foot. And a real good smothering by Jan Oblak. Made himself big again. Really good. Really good goalkeeping. It's Koke. Reverses into Pablo Barrios in the midfield. Squares it into a tight area, a little bit sloppy there from Atleti. And it's picked up here by Martinelli. Stolen away as he runs right into Llorente, and that's going to be an Arsenal free kick. Marcus Llorente not happy, but the decision has gone Arsenal's way. I think it was kind of just a collision between the two, but Llorente feels hard done by. See it again. I mean, Martinelli rolls over the ball. And just kind of, he just throws himself at him. Marcus Llorente there. Free kick to Arsenal. Certainly knows he's in a game tonight, Marcus Llorente. No doubt about that. Right, a few more goals to tell you about in a moment. Some big goals as well to tell you about, but a free kick here for the Gunners. An opportunity to deliver one into the box. Rice with a delivery, and the header has gone in. And it's a great header by Gabriel. Great delivery from the free kick, and a fantastic header. I said it was coming. Arsenal had their moment, and Gabriel heading in past Jan Oblak, who's already denied Arsenal attackers multiple times tonight, but that one couldn't be denied. An Arsenal lead by a goal to 0. Simeone sits on the bench, drinking water, trying to figure out how his team find a way back from this now, but great delivery by Rice. Is he onside? He's definitely onside. Every Arsenal player's onside there. Rice with a ball whipped in, and Gabriel sneaking in behind his man there, and he heads it into the bottom left corner. Really nicely taken. They think they've got it covered at Atleti, and they don't realise what's coming to hit them until it's too late. Arsenal 1, Atletico Madrid 0. Gabriel's header giving the Gunners the lead. And the crowd cheering along to that one. Diego Simeone, emotionless as always. Very rarely emotionless, Diego Simeone. But he was there. Probably showed disbelief. And there's a ball in behind. Could be a chance to level this game. Simeone hits it wide. Giuliano Simeone with a golden opportunity here. See it again. I think it's Alvarez again. What a beautiful ball. Defence splitting pass. And Giuliano Simeone broke down the right side. Got ready for a shot. It deflected off Gabriel. And out for the corner. That was a wonderful opportunity for Atletico Madrid to equalise. Corner. Alvarez delivers it into the box. Headed away at the near post. Down in the middle, and Alvarez tried to keep it in possession for Atleti, but ultimately it comes off Gyökeres and they win a throw-in, which he takes quickly. Here's Simeone down the right side. They want to get that leveller quickly here. Simeone into the box, dribbling past his man, and Rice, who gets back and blocks the shot when it comes. Here's Alvarez. Edge of the box has a go. Deflected behind for the corner. Bit of a relentless response there from Atletico Madrid. And Arsenal certainly knowing they're in a game now. You got to say, Atleti actually looked a lot sharper in front of goal in the second half. A great opportunity with Alvarez that hit the crossbar. Now 1-0 down. Want to try and find a way back to tie this one up again. The referee making sure all is well in the box before the free kick or the corner is taken. Alvarez, right-footed, way at the near post again. Koke recycles. Alvarez, Koke. He goes for the cross, again headed away, commandingly by Arsenal. Comes down the right side now, Simeone. Back to Barrios. There's 1-0 to the Arsenal, is the song of choice inside the Emirates. Barrios, deep ball. It's too deep. And too close to David Raya, who comfortably gathers for the Gunners. I was going to mention a couple of goals for you, but that was just before Arsenal scored, so we haven't had a chance to yet tell you about a few goals. It is an absolute thriller of a goal fest in Leverkusen. Let's hold on, Arsenal breaking forward again. Down the right-hand side is Saka. Saka across. Half cleared, a little bit of a muddling up there of Atleti trying to clear their lines, and they're going to get a free kick. Nico Gonzalez brought down in his own box. Right, a goal for Leverkusen. That's the 7th goal in that game. Leverkusen have got a second goal, so it is Leverkusen 2, PSG 5, and it's the man who scored the first Atleti goal, or the first Leverkusen goal, sorry. Alex Garcia has got the second, so it is 5-2 to PSG there, and a third goal now for PSV Eindhoven, so a complete turn up for the books there. Napoli were 1 up and are now 3-1 down to PSV Eindhoven. Dennis Mann with the second goal, or the third goal, sorry, of the night for PSV. Atleti battling back to try and find an equaliser, and they're going to make some substitutions in a moment as well to try and aid that process. Diego Simeone going to his bench to try and help out his team's chances here. They've already had 6 shots in the game total. 4 of those 6 have come in the second half, so they are starting to find the final third a little bit more and try and have more shots on the goal. Here's Llorente chipping one across, and a header is off target by Alexander Sørloth, who was charging towards that one, and it's a good move down the right side. Simeone waits for Llorente's underlapping run. He lofts it into the box, and the header commanding right around the penalty spot. That's actually David Hansko that has the header, and it's just off target from the fullback to fullback there nearly for Atleti. And let's tell you about those substitutions then. The just making. Conor Gallagher's on the field. That's what I can confirm to you for the moment. I'll fully give you the details of the substitutions in a second. They're making a triple substitution, I believe, at Atleti at this moment in time. It's quite an interesting move from Diego Simeone as I wait confirmation of those substitutions. Anytime will do. We'll get them in a moment for you. But Atleti have made a triple substitution, so I can confirm that for you. But at the moment, not full details on that. No, I do. The three substitutions, Koke, Jimenez and Gonzalez all off, and Matteo Ruggieri, Alejandro Baena and Conor Gallagher are all on. So triple substitution, Ruggieri, Baena and Gallagher on, Gonzalez, Jimenez and Koke off. So interesting moves from Diego Simeone. Another goal in Copenhagen to tell you about. Dortmund took the lead on the night in that one. An own goal from Dortmund levelled the game for Copenhagen, but Dortmund are back in front. It is now 2-1 to Borussia Dortmund, and Rami Bensebaini has given them that goal. And that lead back again. Here come Arsenal on the move. Martinelli tucks it in the far corner. Really good goal off the inside of the right post, and tucks its way into the bottom corner. And Arsenal are 2 up. And those substitutions weren't given the chance to make an impact for Atleti before Arsenal doubled their lead. I said this game could really swing one way. If Arsenal get the first goal, they could really put this game to bed quickly. They got the first on 57, and they've got the second just 7 minutes later. And Gabriel Martinelli, who had the ball in the back of the net in the first half, offside on that one. There's no questions about offside or onside on this one, surely. So we see it here, breakdown through the middle, and he's well onside as he receives the ball on the left, and he just takes it first time with his right foot, angles his body perfectly, and just fires it into the far right corner. Beautiful goal. Really well taken. And actually comes off the hand of Oblak onto the far post and then into the bottom corner. That's a beautiful goal by Arsenal, and nicely taken by Gabriel Martinelli. It's one of those ones he has to hit it first time, otherwise it's never going in, and it's a well taken goal. So Gabriel, the defender, has scored the first, and Gabriel Martinelli, the winger, has scored the second. 2-0 to the Gunners. I don't want to stop at 2. Trying to find a third there, but remember, Atletico Madrid were 2-0 down against Liverpool and fought all the way back to 2-2. So it's never over. Although I don't think Arsenal are going to give up that many goals tonight. Their defence is far too strong for that. Although you never know. The Champions League is crazy at times. But with 25 minutes to go, with Atleti still not had a shot on target yet, it looks a long way back for the Spanish side at the moment. But anything's possible. As I said, those triple substitutions just weren't given a chance. They were on in the 63rd minute, and they conceded the second goal less than a minute later. Eze gets the ball out to the right hand side for Saka. On to Timber. And now Arsenal are just calmly popping it around the field under no duress, under no pressure. 2-goal lead and trying to just carry this one home for the victory now. Here's Martinelli in behind again. Ball across to Eze. Gyökeres finds a way in. 3-0. And his first goal in the Champions League for Arsenal. Victor Gyökeres stood on the edge of the 6-yard box and tucked it in the bottom left corner. Atleti scrambling to clear their lines to get it away, but they couldn't before Victor fired in. 3-0. Now quickly it can all turn. Just over 12 minutes ago it was goalless. Can you believe that? 3-0 now to Arsenal, and that's surely game, set and match. And Victor Gyökeres with his first in red and white of Arsenal in the Champions League. On the edge of the 6-yard box, tucks it in with his right foot to the bottom left corner. And that is now comfortable for Arsenal, knowing that they needed to come out in the second half and get the first goal. Well, they got the first, they've got the second, and now they have the third and probably decisive goal, deciding there's no doubt where the points are going now, surely. And that will be surely a continuation of recent form. The Gunners have lost only one of the last 14 matches at home against any Spanish team. Won 8 and drawn 5. And of course Atleti beaten on match day 1 by Liverpool. They've only won 1 of the last 9 games against English teams, drawn 2 and lost 6. And they're without a win in 9 Champions League group stage or league phased matches against Premier League teams. I think that winless run will continue to 10 tonight. Here is Martinelli. Gyökeres, it doesn't seem like Arsenal are giving up on scoring anytime soon. Gyökeres, cross into the box, was cleared away, but behind for an Arsenal corner. There is just no way out for Atletico Madrid at the moment, and there's still over 20 minutes to go in this game. And also, Arsenal have all their subs. They've literally done nothing but score in the last 10 minutes, Arsenal. An 8th goal in the game in Leverkusen. A 6th goal for the European champions. PSG, despite being down to 10 men, are 6-2 up. Of course, they're against 10 men, but Ousmane Dembele with a 6th. It is now Leverkusen 2, PSG 6 there in Germany. Corner to Arsenal. Rice with the right-footed delivery, deep to the back post, headed across goal, and bundled in. And you think it took him a long while to get one. He's got 2 for Arsenal. Victor Gyökeres has got the 4th, and that's now his 2nd Champions League goal for Arsenal. Like London buses, is the saying. It takes a long while for one to come, and then 2 come in quick succession. And Arsenal are in an easy street now, no doubt about it. I mean, they could literally lose 3 players and still win this game. They have completely tore Atletico Madrid a new one here in this second half. 4 goals in around 13 minutes for the Gunners. Rice from the corner, it's headed back across goal at the back post, and it's bundled over the line by Victor Gyökeres for 4-0. It's Gabriel again winning the header at the back post, and Gyökeres was there. I mean, absolute collapse from Atleti, but unbelievable, unbridled joy for those Gunners tonight. Arsenal 4, Atletico Madrid 0. Well, I did say at halftime it wouldn't be 0-0. It is 4-0, although there was a slight question mark from Atleti's position whether the goal should stand. I'm not too sure if they're checking that. They're making substitutions. And they're going to make their final 2 substitutions already, Atletico Madrid. So they only made the triple change just, less than 10 minutes ago. And they've made another 2 changes for now. Arsenal are going to make their first change of the night, it looks like, as Gabriel is applauding the crowd. It's going to be the end of his evening, amongst a few other, 1 or 2 other players as well. for Arsenal. Christian Mosquera is on in place of Gabriel, and also Iberi Eze is going to be replaced by Ethan Nwaneri. And they're going to make a third substitution, I believe. And they're going to bring on Christian Norgard, and he's going to replace Martin Zubamendi. So Mosquera, Nwaneri and Norgard all on for Arsenal. Eze, Gabriel and Zubamendi all off. And Atletico Madrid have made another double substitution, as I said. Thiago Almada and Antoine Griezmann are on. Sorloth and Simeone are off. So Atleti have made all 5 of their subs. Arsenal have made 3. Right, that is where we stand. 4-0 to Arsenal. 2-6, 6-2 to PSG. 2-1 to Dortmund. Now 2-0 to Newcastle. We missed that one. 2-0 to Newcastle. A massive goal there. Harvey Barnes, I believe it is, that has got that goal. He has. And it's Nick Pope with the assist. Nick Pope got the assist on that one. I'll have to see the replay on that very soon. Nick Pope's got the assist. Newcastle 2, Benfica 0. PSV 3-1 up against Napoli. 3-0 to Inter away in Union Saint-Gilloise. And Man City 2 up away at Villarreal. Heading into the final 15-20 minutes of our games this evening in the Champions League. And if there was any doubt where the points were going 20 minutes ago, there is no doubt where the points are going now here at the Emirates. Crowd absolutely loving it. Their team have absolutely tore Atletico Madrid apart in this second half, and what a campaign they're having so far. Since defeat to Liverpool at the end of August, Arsenal, they are unbeaten in, I can count this up, unbeaten in 11 games in all competitions now. Won 10 of those and drawn just 1. They drew with Man City here at home, but that's the only game they've dropped points in or failed to win since the defeat to Liverpool, which is still their only loss of the season. A total of 12 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat from their 14 games so far this campaign, and this will be win number 13 of 15 this evening, no doubt about that. Not only that, they are, at the moment, 3 points clear at the top of the Premier League. The best defence, one of the best attacks in the league. And sitting pretty at the top, no doubt about it. And are going to make it 3 wins out of 3 in the Champions League as well, without conceding a goal as it stands. That is as perfect as it can get for Arsenal. Absolutely unbelievable at the moment. And they have to be up there with contenders for both competitions, no doubt, this season. Premier League and Champions League. It's not about peaking in August, September or October. It's about the second half of the campaign and how you fare at that 8th stage. I will go back to it again, and PSG struggling to get into the knockout stages of the Champions League last season, and when they did, they tore it up and won the competition by a canter in the end. So it's about peaking at the right time in this competition. I don't think Arsenal are peaking too early. I think they're just purring at the moment. Whether they can keep that running to the end of the season is another question, but it's not the question for tonight. Less than 15 minutes to go. Atletico 4-0 down, and quite a stark contrast to their last Champions League outing, where they led by 4 goals and won by 4 goals, beating Frankfurt by 5 goals to 1. Here's a chance in behind to have a go. Good save by David Raya from Thiago Almada. He made the run, had the shot with his left foot, and a simple save by David Raya. That's their first shot on target of the night for Atleti, with their 9th shot of the evening. It's their first shot on target. But Arsenal had only 2 shots on target at half-time. 9 shots, 2 on target. In the second half, they've had 8 shots, 5 on target, 4 ending up in the back of the Atleti net. It could be more here. Ball in behind. Gyökeres, he's on a hat-trick, remember now. He was well muscled by Robin Lenormand and dealt with well on that occasion. Atleti have actually upped it in the second half. They just haven't been able to test the goalkeeper, and how different this game could have been if that chance from Julian Alvarez that hit the crossbar had have gone in. But that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Julian Alvarez knows that all too well. The shot coming on the 49th minute. Hit the crossbar. How different this game could have been, considering now, just 30 minutes later, Atleti set 4-0 down. And at that point it was 0-0. And now bringing the Olays out. The Arsenal fans, as Martinelli was pressed out of play by Almada. Throw into Arsenal incoming. A reminder for you that we have another game coming up for you tomorrow night. In Eintracht Frankfurt taking on Liverpool. That's tomorrow at 8 o'clock here in LFS. Can Liverpool end this losing streak that they're on at the moment and pick up points away from home in a very tough Frankfurt stadium? Of course, Frankfurt won on match day 1, I believe. Am I mistaken on that? I'm not. Frankfurt did win on match day 1 of the Champions League this season. 5-1 winners against Galatasaray, then lost 5-1 to Atletico Madrid on match day 2. 2 teams that Liverpool have already played as well, Galatasaray and Atletico Madrid. So that's a very interesting matchup, considering that Liverpool beat Atletico, but Atletico beat Frankfurt, and Liverpool lost to Galatasaray, but Frankfurt beat Galatasaray. Very intriguing affair. That Eintracht Frankfurt-Liverpool game tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Edging towards the last 10 minutes here. Arsenal 4, Atletico Madrid 0. Right-footed delivery into the box there by Rice, and half cleared. And there's going to be a free kick in there, foul on David Hansko. Well, that goal, the latest Arsenal goal, was the 8th goal that Atleti have conceded this season in the Champions League. They conceded 3 at Liverpool, 1 against Frankfurt, and now 4 tonight against Arsenal. 7 on their last 2 visits to England. And it looked like the cast of Ted Lasso were in the stands there here this evening. Look like Jason Sudeikis. Is it Sudeikis anyway? I know that's a surname. But looked like he was the man in the glasses up in the box here at the Emirates. And look, we see that shot from Julian Alvarez way earlier on that bashed off the crossbar. As I say, how different this game could have been if that one had a win in. It's then 1-0 through Gabriel, and Martinelli made it 2. Gyökeres on the edge of the 6-yard box got 3. And then Gyökeres, like London buses, hasn't been able to find one in the first 2 games, and has got 2 of their last 2 goals in the space of a number of minutes for Arsenal to make it 4. Speaking of 4, there's a 4th goal in 2 of our games tonight that had 3 goals in them. PSV have added a 4th now. Napoli down to 10 in the last moment or so. Lorenzo Luca was given a red card for argument, and Dennis Mann has got his second of the night. It is now 4-1 to PSV Eindhoven. And Inter have now got a fourth goal away at Union Saint-Gilloise. That goal scored by Francisco Pio Esposito. Great name to say. Esposito has Inter's fourth of the evening. Right, Arsenal are going to make a double change. You're in Timber and Victor Gyökeres are coming off, so no hat-trick for Gyökeres tonight, but Timber and Gyökeres off. And replacing them is going to be Ben White and Mikel Merino. Ben White and Mikel Merino are on for Arsenal. So both sides have used all of their substitutes. Corner to Atleti here on this left-hand side. Right-footed delivery. Up and away at the near post by Merino. Barrios trying to recycle it for his own team. Gives it to Saka. And now a breakaway here for Martinelli. Spinning back into the action. Finding Rice, who bobbles it through for Bukayo Saka into the box. Chips onto his left. Trying to get the shot blocked by Marcus Llorente. And that could have been much more threatening in the end to Atleti than it ended up being, but my goodness, almost causing themselves a whole world of pain there. Did the Spanish side. In the end, no damage done. More goals to tell you about. Let's go to Copenhagen. There's been a fourth goal on the night, but a third goal for Borussia Dortmund. They're settling the points. Here come Atleti. Here's a chance. Another deflection, and it's going to be a free kick anyway. Gallagher had the effort, blocked by Mascara, foul, free kick to Arsenal. Third goal, Felix Mecha again on the score sheet. His second of the night is Dortmund's third, and that's all 3 points going back to Dortmund with Dortmund. 3-1 winners, it seems to be, or 3-1 leaders, sorry, there at the moment. It is now 3-0 to Newcastle, making easy work, it seems, of Benfica tonight. Harvey Barnes with his second of the evening. Anthony Gordon with the assist this time after he scored the first, and Harvey Barnes has a third or second for him, and the third for Newcastle this evening. All happening. All happening. Just over 5 minutes to go here at the Emirates, and I think this game was settled at probably 2-0, but Arsenal wanted to add a few more just for safekeeping, and they made it 4, and not much has happened since then. Arsenal just being outpossessed by Atleti, who've had more of the possession, but it's all well and good. They're 4-0 down. For Griezmann, in behind for Gallagher. Gallagher trying the shot, blocked by Mosquera. Behind for the corner. Quick look at the Championship tonight as well. Sheffield United 3-1 winners away at Blackburn. Derby 1 up against Norwich. Hull leading Leicester by 2-1 in the final few minutes. Charlton 3-0 winners away at Ipswich. Millwall 2-0 winners against Stoke. Coventry 2-1 against Portsmouth. It's 1-0 to Birmingham away at Preston and 3-1 to Bristol City against Southampton. A few of those games still going, but a number of them are at final scores. By the way, Birmingham have just beaten Preston by 1-0 in the Championship. Right, here is Atleti with another shot. It's Antoine Griezmann this time, and he's hit it wide. Do you know one of my favourite kind of facts about a football player is that Antoine Griezmann, his first 3 children, were all born on the same day, in different years, but all born on the same date. I love that. That's a fantastic fact. I don't know why I mentioned that, but Antoine Griezmann came on my screen and I remembered that fact. It's one of my favourite facts about a footballer. It's the most bizarre thing. You can't ever predict something like that. You can't make that happen. You can get it around the same date, but you can't make it happen. I'm kind of channeling my inner Mark Goldbridge with that ramble there. Anyway, moving on. Still 4-0 to the Gunners, trying to work it down the left there with Martinelli, but dispossessed by Almada, who was pulled back. It's going to be a free kick to Atleti. Another goal to tell you about in Eindhoven tonight. And despite being down to 10, Napoli have got another goal, and it's another goal for that man, Scott McTominay. It's 2 on the night for him, and both goals coming through Scott McTominay for Napoli tonight. But the first one was in a lot better circumstances than what his second one is. They were leading when he scored the first, and they went 1-0 up. But now with the second, they're now 4-2 down. So not quite the night that he was hoping to have. But 2 goals for him on the night is not bad, considering that the fact that his team are now down to 10 and were 4-1 down when he scored that second. But it's 4-2 there. There's still a few sides that haven't scored tonight. Benfica haven't scored, Union Saint-Gilloise haven't scored, Villarreal haven't scored, and of course Atleti here haven't scored this evening in our late games in the Champions League. One team who have scored, and scored quite a few tonight, are Borussia Dortmund. They've just added a 4th to their tally against Copenhagen. Quite a number of sides have scored at least 4 goals tonight, so a lot. And another goal to tell you about in Eindhoven. I mean, I think a lot of these games are competing for who's got the highest score tonight. Barca started at 6-1, then PSG are now 6-2 up against Leverkusen. Eindhoven are now, PSV Eindhoven are now 5-2 up against Napoli. I mean, Dortmund are 4-1 up against Copenhagen, and Inter are 4-0 up against Union Saint-Gilloise. Arsenal are 4-0 up against Atleti. Lots and lots of goals in the Champions League tonight. PSV Eindhoven's 5th was scored by Ricardo Pepi, and the 4th goal for Borussia Dortmund was scored by Fabio Silva. We will recap all of the goals, all the action tonight for you when we finish. It might take me till we start our live watch along for tomorrow night's game, but we'll get there and we'll tell you all the details of all of the scores and all of the games in the Champions League this evening as they finish. And a quick look and tell you what the table looks like after all of our games have concluded tonight, because it will be interesting to see what way the table looks after this evening. A number of sides making it 3 wins out of 3. Arsenal, PSG amongst them. I'll tell you all about that very shortly. As Marino was tackled by Barrios and a foul, said the referee. As we enter the final minute of the 90. A reminder for you, if you haven't done so already, do press that subscribe button. We're very close to 30,000 subscribers. I don't think that's updating live, so we could be closer than 19 subscribers away. But if you haven't done already, that would be greatly appreciated if you could hit that subscribe button. And also hit the like button as well on the stream if you've enjoyed watching it tonight. It's been great to have you with us. Really enjoyed this one, as we have 3 additional minutes at the end of the 90 then. Atleti defending to do again as they clear their lines. And as they clear their lines, it comes all the way back to David Raya. Well, what's next for Arsenal? After tonight, they will be hosting Crystal Palace on Sunday here at the Emirates at 2 o'clock. It's an interesting London derby. And then they host Brighton next midweek in the Carabao Cup 3rd round. Or 4th round, is it? Yeah, it's the 4th round, sorry. They host Brighton in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup next week. And then they have a trip to Burnley at the start of November. For Atletico Madrid, they have a tricky trip away to Real Betis at the weekend. That's on Monday night. And then they host Sevilla next Saturday afternoon. So some interesting La Liga games to come up for Atleti before they host Union Saint-Gilloise in their next Champions League game. Arsenal's next Champions League outing is away to Slavia Prague on the 4th of November. Right, quick update from around the grounds. Again, it's now 6-2 to PSV Eindhoven. So that's now 3 teams in the night's Champions League action that have scored 6 goals. 6-2 to Eindhoven in that one. Kuhaib Druek has scored that one. Copenhagen have got a goal back against Dortmund. It is now 4-2 to Dortmund, and that one, Copenhagen's goal scored by Victor Barkey Dadison. There in that one. Here's a takedown by Ethan Waneri, which was wooed by the crowd. And nice take in by Norgard, dribbling around the edge of the area. It's kept alive. The shot comes, and it's saved by Jan Oblak from Ethan Waneri. In the end there. He just rolled it, curled it round David Hansko. But a nice grab from Jan Oblak as we enter the final 30 seconds. It's a 7th goal for PSG away at Leverkusen. 7-2 now, an absolute thumping of Leverkusen. Vitinha with that 7th goal. European champions certainly asserting their European title this evening away at Leverkusen. And I think that game was 1-1 at one point. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. As there's the final whistle at the Emirates this evening. An absolute rout for Arsenal. A second half destroying of Atletico Madrid. It was goalless at the break. We knew that the first goal would be crucial in this one. And my goodness, it was. Julian Alvarez hit the crossbar in the second half. That was a big chance for Atleti, but then Arsenal scored 4 goals. Gabriel with a header from a set piece, from a free kick, made it 1. It was 2 when Gabriel Martinelli tucked into the bottom right corner off the right hand post. It was then 3 when Victor Gyökeres got his first for the Gunners in Arsenal colours, in the end of the 6-yard box in the Champions League, of course. And the second for Gyökeres made it 4 for the Gunners minutes after his first. And that was all she wrote on the night. A big win for Arsenal in the Champions League. And they're really asserting themselves as one of the best teams in Europe, not only in the league, but on the continent as well. A 2-0 win against Athletic Club on match day 1. A 2-0 win against Olympiacos on match day 2. They were so good, they had to do it even better on match day 3. A 4-0 victory against Atletico Madrid on match day 3. Final score at the Emirates, it's finished Arsenal 4, Atletico Madrid 0. And let's recap all of the night's action then for you in the Champions League. We'll give you a quick recap of the early games because we already mentioned those in full detail for you earlier. 6-1 win for Barca, a hat-trick from Fermin Lopez amongst them, and a brace from Marcus Rashford as well. Barca 6, Olympiacos 1. It was goalless between Karad Almaty and Paphos, but a first point ever in the Champions League for Karad Almaty, and just the second draw in a row for Paphos there. Arsenal 4-0 winners again at Atletico Madrid. Gabriel with the first, Gabriel Martinelli won the second, the third and fourth, both through Victor Gyökeres. It was an absolute monster of a game. It's still ongoing between PSG and Bayer Leverkusen. It will go down as one of the craziest games in the Champions League, certainly in the league phase, might be in the history of the early stages of the Champions League. 9 goals, 2 red cards, and a missed penalty as well. Sounding quite like some sort of a Christmas song, that one. But 9 goals, 7-2. It is still going between PSG and PSV. They should be finishing that game right now. The final whistle has just gone. It is 7-2, the final score between those two. Let's bring it all the way back to the start of that one. It seems a long while ago since Willian Pacho gave PSG the lead in that 1-0 it was after 7 minutes. Grimaldo hit the woodwork from a penalty that missed, and then Robert Andrich was sent off for Leverkusen, all this while being 1-0 down. Then Ilya Zabarnyi got a red card for PSG. It was 1-0 still to PSG at this point when Zabarnyi was sent off, so both down to 10 and PSG 1 up. But from the resulting penalty from the red card of Zabarnyi, Alex Garcia then equalised for Leverkusen, but really, that was to be the last time they were ever involved in this game. Desiree Doué made it 2-1. Kvaratskhelia made it 3-1. Then Doué again on the score sheet before half-time made it 4-1. Then it was 5-1 in the second half through Nuno Mendes. Garcia got one back to make it 5-2. But then again, that was to be the end of the scoring for the night for Leverkusen. Ousmane Dembele made it 6-2. And Vitinha added a 7th, just for fun, in additional time. on the night. 7-2 for the European champions away in Leverkusen, whilst being down to 10 themselves. Incredible. It was 4-2. Another big win on the road tonight. Lots of goals in this one tonight. And all of our games this evening. I will calculate that up completely in a moment for you very shortly. Felix Metsche opened the scoring for Dortmund in their 4-2 win over Copenhagen. Valdemar Anton then equalised through an own goal for Copenhagen to make it 1-1. Ben Sabini from the penalty spot made it 2-1 to Dortmund before Metsche made it 3-1. Then it was 4-1 through Fabio Silva before Dadison got a goal back to make it 4-2 for Copenhagen. It was a comfortable and easy night in the end for Newcastle. Anthony Gordon, made it 1-0 to Newcastle in that first half. 2 goals from Harvey Barnes sealed the points for the Magpies in the second half. 2 wins out of 3 to start the Champions League campaign for them. It's a very good return for their money to start this campaign. 3-0 winners there, Newcastle. Another 8-goal game for you this evening. Another high-scoring one. PSV 6, Napoli 2. Napoli took the lead, funnily enough, in that one. Scott McTominay opened the scoring. It was a Buongiorno equaliser from an own goal to level things for PSV. Then Saibari got it to 2-1 to PSV. Into the second half, Dennis Mann with his first of the night made it 3-1. Luca was then sent off for Napoli at 3-1 and Napoli down to 10. It was 4-1 through Dennis Mann shortly after. It was 4-2 when Scott McTominay got his second of the night, but then Pepe and Druek made it 5-2 and then 6-2 to PSV Eindhoven. All 4 goals coming in one direction in between Union Saint-Gilloise and Inter. Inter all 4 goals on the night in a 4-0 victory over Union Saint-Gilloise. Denzel Dumfries, Lautaro Martinez, a Akan Çalhanoğlu penalty and an Esposito goal made it 4 to Inter. And a comfortable 2-0 victory on the road for Man City away at Villarreal, both in the first half. Erling Haaland and Bernardo Silva on the score sheet. If I was to calculate it, I'll do a quick bit of mental maths. And considering there was a game without any goals tonight in the early window, there has been a total of 43 goals in our 9 Champions League games tonight. That is an average of almost 5 goals per game tonight. And considering one of those didn't have a single goal, that is quite fantastic. An unbelievable return tonight. An unbelievable night in the Champions League. Real English says, in the end we got spoilt for goals after being jealous of the other games during a goal drought in the first half. 100%. That Arsenal game was goalless at the break until the 57th minute. It was goalless, but 4 goals from Arsenal in the space of 13 minutes, and they made it easy work in the end of Atletico Madrid. But what a night. 43 goals across 9 Champions League games, an average of 4.7 per game. An unbelievable night. And don't forget, there's more Champions League action to come tomorrow night for you. We watch Eintracht Frankfurt take on Liverpool. That's tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Do join us then for that one. But that is it from us tonight. The Gunners, in the end, did the job on Atletico. They don't want to come back to England anytime soon. They've conceded 7 goals now in the 2 trips that they've had in the Champions League, both in England. We won't see them back in England anytime soon for Atleti. For Arsenal, it's 3 wins out of 3 to start the Champions League campaign. They haven't conceded and they scored 8 goals. Could it be any better? Not really. A great night for the Gunners and a great night for Mikel Arteta's team. And they probably didn't even do that much. They probably played their best in a 20-minute spell and they came away with a 4-0 win. That's how you know they're one of the best in Europe. A quick look at the table for you tonight. PSG, Inter and Arsenal all making it 3 wins out of 3. They top the table on 9 points. Dortmund, Man City follow up with are on 7 points. They make up the top 5. Newcastle end up into the top 8 with their second win of the season tonight, as well as Barcelona's second win of the campaign. They're up to 9th as well. But a lot still to come as we have more games, and we'll analyse the full table for you tomorrow night. Thanks for your company. Excuse me. Thanks for your company tonight. Arsenal 4-0 victors. They were an easy street for at least the last 25 minutes. Good night.